Okay, so I go from there, I hand in my wig and my little pointy shoes, and I go to the London School of Economics and Political Science, one of the most academically rigorous institutions in the world. And yeah, I learned a lot about business and some complex mathematical equations, but it was actually at this school that I met a group of students who were studying the Vedas, these books of wisdom that Ayurveda derives from. And I started doing yoga, and I started practicing meditation. And, I've recounted this time later in my life when I really wasn't doing well, and I just called home one day and I told my parents, guys, I'm going to Hawaii. I need to go somewhere to get better. This was another one of those phone calls. Kind of went like this. Hey, guys. So rather than do that internship on Wall Street this summer, I think I'm going to go to India, to the Himalayas, to teach some English and learn some Eastern philosophy. You can imagine a little bit of silence on the phone. They're like, you're going where? What are you doing? So, of course, from a synchronistic standpoint, this is the same area. 8 years later, I would be going to help source the Amalaki fruit. Again, how do you script that? And as a side note, it was at the London School of Economics that I first met Elliot Anderson and recognized the brilliance of his business mind. Elliot today, of course, is VP of Finance for Zrii. He's doing a remarkable job. So we would have never, let's give it up for, he pays your check, so let's. Somehow I still managed to get a job on Wall Street, despite the cartoon characters and India. And this wasn't my life purpose. We talk about dharma, this fulfillment of our life purpose. This was not it for me. Working 70 hours a week at a Wall Street bank on the bond trading floor, I knew it wasn't giving me that fulfillment. And some long-standing imbalances relating to my physical body, relating to my mental body, they all came to a head at this period to let me know this is not where you need to be. This is not going to serve you. And you kind of know the story from there. So that's when I picked up and I went to Hawaii and I started to get better. And I met Dr. Tom and Dr. Suhas. I began my formal education in Ayurvedic medicine. Wrote the book Eat, Taste, Heal. It's also during this time I traveled extensively studying with Native American healers from both North and South America. So this was really my steeping, if you will, into this alternative and integrative medicine. So we see this theme in Ayurveda that's talking about self-referential wisdom, okay? Turning back inside of ourselves to figure out exactly where we need to be, what we need to do for our health. We find the answers inside. So often, right, everything's external. We're always going to TV and all these other things to get our answers. So we turn back inside of ourselves. And fully connected to this is this concept of the very vibratory nature or structure of our entire being is critical for anything that we do in life. So any venture that we're taking, this vibratory structure, what I call this energetic anatomy, is totally critical. And we've seen this very interesting development in science today, where we go from this static world of Newtonian physics, where we're looking at, a table and knocking on it and saying, this is just a table, to this quantum mechanical model, which Deepak Chopra, who we'll be hearing from tomorrow, of course, has so eloquently described quantum mechanics, and how when we go deeper into the heart of matter, all we see is vibrating particles of light and energy. And there's an incredible field emerging within this called PNI, psychoneuroimmunology. It fascinates me. And a leading researcher named Dr. Candace Pert identified these things called neuropeptides in the brain. She calls them molecules of emotion. And what happens is these molecules respond instantaneously to every thought, emotion, intention, activity that we have. So we can have a particular emotion, and these neuropeptides wash through the bloodstream and attach themselves to specific receptors on every cell and have a corresponding vibratory frequency. So she talks about these frequencies and says, so we have ones that are higher frequencies, and we can literally think of these as happy cells or healthy cells. Okay, and when I first heard this, I was kind of laughing to myself. I could imagine looking into a microscope at a cell, seeing these little guys down there, these little protons and electrons, sombrero hats on, playing the trumpet. We are happy cells. I mean, it seemed crazy, but it's amazing. And of course, there has to be a corresponding lower vibratory frequency also. When we have fears and negativity and sadness and self-doubt, all of these emotions have a corresponding effect on that cellular vibration and then can lead to these seeds of illness and imbalance. So any venture, any new venture, this is totally integral to it, okay? So I talked about in embarking on this Zrii journey, back in Chicago, I talked about a three-prong approach, okay? I now think of these as the 3 I's. The first is integrity. I encourage you to embark upon this journey with the same integrity and passion that forms the very basis of this company. David Simon so artfully said, we wanted to create something so good people would be attracted to you to learn more about it. This is when things shift from an opportunity into what I call the offering. So integrity, that's number 1. Number 2 is intention. We have to have a clarity of intention in the present in anything that we do to do it well. We know creativity, imagination, and intention cannot take place in the past. They can't take place in the future. It only happens now. So I encourage you to be very clear with exactly what it is you're trying to manifest in this experience. Be it greater health, be it greater wealth, be it greater freedom of your time, whatever it is, be clear with that and set that intention. Number 3, invitation. I encourage you to view this as an invitation into your own health, a deeper exploration of your own health and healing, your loved ones around you. And you know what begins to happen is when we have a group like this and we kind of share a common vision, we begin to resonate together. And when you resonate together, you actually have the ability to start to evolve consciousness and evolve awareness. And there's no choice but for this to begin to radiate outward into the world around us. I personally believe that affecting change in the world around us through first affecting change in ourselves is one of the greatest gifts that we can possibly give. And it's a gift that can only lead to a pathway of abundance. Thank you so much for being here. This is going to be an incredible weekend. Thank you. Thank you.